Hey, this is Boogie Ram from Drought, and you're listening to The New Scene.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The New Scene. I am your host, Keith, and we are back with another brand new episode. And on the show this week, we have Eric Hammar, vocalist of Frail. Frail were a hardcore band that got started in the mid-90s. They made a big impact in their short time as a band with the release of 4 7-inches over the period of 2 years, all while the band was still in high school. They'd travel out on weekends all over the country to play any show that would have them, bringing their unique brand of emotional hardcore interspersed with spoken word, engagement with the audience, and their own version of straight edge, which was inclusive and encouraged individuality, self-expression, and community. The band dissolved once its members got close to graduating high school, and the members went their separate ways. Several members went on to form Mandela Strike Force, Ink and Dagger, and other bands. But Frail lay dormant for close to 30 years, until their discography was to be issued by Numero Group, and they began talking about the possibility of playing shows again, which they did for the first time in February of 2025, and they've continued to do for the past year. I've gotten to know Eric and the rest of Frail a lot over the past 5 months, and I really love the band. And in this conversation with Eric, we cover everything. The beginning of Frail, their history, the breakup, the reunion, and that is coming up shortly. But first, here's how you can support The New Scene. Sign up for The New Scene Patreon. There's 4 tiers of support, and you'll get access to That's Fair, our new Patreon exclusive podcast. Rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a main channel with full video episodes and a clips channel with clips from select episodes. We have shirts for sale at our store at Deathwish Inc. Pick one up. It's a great way to support the show. And you can follow us on social media at New Scene Pod. Also, don't forget to support Iodine Recordings. Iodine Recordings welcomes Quiet Fear to the label. They've got a new LP coming in 2026. Quiet Fear blends screamo intensity with hardcore urgency through a lens rooted in identity, community, and lived experiences. They've got Mexican tour dates coming up. Check their page or the Iodine page for a full list of dates. The 30th anniversary edition of Manic Compression, the classic LP by Quicksand, is out now. There's 2 different variants out there and a deluxe book. This is a must-have, so make sure you pick it up. The Iodine Noise Cult Volume 5 is live now. Annual membership is $300. Monthly membership is $28 a month. And the 2004 self-titled LP from the National Blue is streaming now. Check it out. For more information, head to iodinerecordings.com, and you can follow them on Instagram at Iodine Recordings. And say hello to our sponsor for the month of February, New Morality Zine. Head to newmoralityzine.com for all the latest updates, and you can follow them on Instagram at New Morality Zine. Also, let's start the push to 400 Apple Podcast reviews. We sit now at 327. We need 73 people to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. So if you work at the Apple Store, if you're an iPhone distributor, if you have friends or family members who have iPhones, grab those phones. Go to the podcast app, search The New Scene, scroll down a bit, and hit that 5-star button. Okay, so check back in with me at the end of the show. We'll do a wrap-up of the conversation with Eric. We'll check in, we'll see how everybody's doing, but right now, we are going to speak to Eric Hammar of Frail. Enjoy. All right, we are here now with Eric Hammar. Eric, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here, Eric. You know, I've had the pleasure of meeting you recently because we were out in LA for the Frail shows, and that was a lot of fun. Hanging out was a lot of fun. Frail has a new discography out on Numero Group, which is awesome. There's all kinds of great stuff going on, Eric, and we're going to talk about all of that. But first, I want to ask you, how are you doing today?
Good. I did yoga this morning, so I'm probably more chill than I normally am. It's like a restorative yoga, so I feel pretty good, and I'm a little anxious to chat, but yeah.
How long have you been doing yoga?
Oh, so I might be like, I've tried it off and on over the years. I probably more or less fully kind of committed to doing it like 3 years ago. So when I say fully committed, maybe once or twice a week. But like for me, I think it's been, well, as I can't believe I hate talking about that. I'm just not super like stretchy or limber or whatever. And I have like I've heard this story. It's like in my fam like I heard a story about like a gentleman putting on his sock and then like breaking his foot because like this is terrible. Like it's so ridiculous. Like I put on a sock and I break my foot because they're not like flexible or able to. I don't know. So I think there's probably more to this story, but like I don't know. And I just want to be able to touch my toes and stuff like that, and be able to not, I don't know, be the Tin Man. So
Yeah,
that's the that's the thoughts.
that's why I'm curious because in spring of 2024, I started running because I wanted to get in shape for shows for my current band. And then running turned into weightlifting, and I do like a whole body exercise or body weight workout too, push-ups, squats. I want to condition myself to be ready for older age so that I too don't break something putting on a sock. That's forefront in my
I mean,
mind all the time now.
it's a like such a benign thing, like because you have to wear. Well, no, you don't have to wear socks. But I live in Ireland, and socks are probably useful because I'm always cold. But yeah, no, it's I like it. Like I wouldn't say like am I like you know I don't know. I'm not like uber flexible, but like I find it really enjoyable, and um, I have a good yoga teacher who makes me laugh a lot. So I think that is what I like, and it's just good crack, and yeah, it's just fun, and like I see some improvements, I think, and like if you're doing like running and weightlifting or body weight or any type of other fitness, it's a nice like counterbalance because it slows you down a little bit, and just kind of it's just a nice yin yang kind of thing, like you can't go like my wife and I are trying to train for a half marathon, um, which we signed up for last year, and we forgot. We knew when it's happening. We just kind of like pushed off the training, and part of our, it's just like it's a nice balance. Like if you're doing lots of something, like you can't just go all crazy all the time. Sometimes you need to slow down and just just chill, and it's nice. It's a good
Yeah.
thing. I think I recommend it to anyone. But
I don't push myself too much. If I feel an injury, like right now, my wrist is injured from moving merch in the practice space. I really want to do push-ups. I really want to lift weights. I might not do that today because I don't want to injure myself further. Maybe I'll just go run.
yeah, no, you have to make those decisions, and like there's nothing wrong with that. Like sometimes just you don't have to win all the time. Like
As much as I want to.
yes, well, yeah, but like I don't know, it's not that important to me. I just enjoy like just moving, and I'm grateful for that, I guess. So it's good. I like it. I think it's a good thing. Although they're talking about raising the price, and I was like, I'm kind of a cheap bastard, so just a lot of debates going on in my head. But I think it's totally worth it. But I put a lot of effort into looking for like the best deal, and now I have to be like, is it still the best deal? But
I'm
no,
going to be
it's
entering into that mindset too because I don't have a job anymore.
you should always be well. You should always like be careful what you spend your money on because you probably don't need it more or less. But
Exactly.
I don't know. You'll be kind.
Did you grew up in Willow Grove?
I did. Um, I moved. I was born in North Jersey. This is like baby Eric, and then my parents moved to Western Mass, Leominster, and we were there for a long time. Well, not a long time, up until I was like in second grade, and then we moved to Willow Grove. And yeah, so I kind of grew up in Willow Grove by and large, from second grade on, and I lived on the street below Mike, our guitarist, in the band. So he was just through the woods, up the hill, kind of stuff, suburban, fun, goofiness.
Yeah, I like the idea of cutting through the woods to go to your friend's house. That's like that single digit age wonder.
It's like to escape I mean, like when you're a kid, you always like, or I'm vaguely annoyed with, was always vaguely annoyed with, or angry or whatever with my parents or whatever. And I was like always looking for escape and, to get out in the backyard and then through like, and when I say woods, it's like literally like maybe, I don't know, 20 feet of like trees and bushes. You know what I mean? Not even. And then I'm into my neighbor's yard. And then, it's a suburban neighborhood. Everything's manicured and pretty with like a weird bird bath in the middle of like this massive flat yard. Nothing else, just grass and stuff. So you just cut across, and I would be like anxious to get across because like I just didn't want to get like yelled at, for climbing through the bushes and dragging leaves onto the perfect lawn or something like that. But yeah. So yeah, Mike lived up the road, and that's how I'd get to his house, and we would just hang out and stuff.
How did you meet him?
I met him. I met Mike at the bus stop. Yeah. Well, I knew. No, wait, time out. Let me dial back. I met him in elementary school, but I think we like solidified our friendship as we moved in from away from elementary school to middle school. But I met him in elementary school and can't really remember. I used to think Mike was really cool. Like he listened to rap music. He liked skateboarding, like cool stuff. Like, and I always thought he was cool. And he's genuinely like, I think he's like one of the funniest dudes. Like at the time, like, well, no, he's still like genuinely like the funniest dudes, like one of the funniest dude I ever met. But I just liked him. I thought he was cool. Like it's not like when you're a kid, you just see something and I don't know, like he's into stuff that's like, whoa, I've never heard of this, or what is this? And like he's like into skateboarding, and I was like, what's skateboard? I don't know. And like I remember trying to get a skateboard and trying to hang out with him all the time. But I think when we got into sixth grade, we really kind of became close friends. We got more into skateboarding and hanging out. And Mike was always like pushing limits. And I think that's what's so rad about Mike is like he's always really challenging, but in a fun, like good way, like pushing you to not be like content with like there's the status quo or something like that. I don't know. That's probably overstating it, or not overstating it, but it's like when you're a kid, it was just like someone that really challenged me. But like, I always kind of like enjoyed being around him. Like he's super cool and fun and open to trying new things and figuring out things together. And I don't know, it's cool. He's a cool guy. That's all.
Oh, definitely. When did you guys decide you were going to start a band? Because you two had some similar music taste, and you really both wanted to start a band together, right?
Mike was like so. Mike is he's like when we were kids, and I actually even still think now he's like a force of nature kind of thing. Like he's just a dude that's like he's always trying to do something, and like he wanted to build a half pipe, so he builds like a 6-foot ramp in his backyard, and it's like I think his dad helped him and stuff like that. He like broke a skateboard, but he tied it onto a rope, and we would swing on it, like stand on this skateboard with a massive rope on a tree, and you just like swing out over his backyard and stuff. And it's like you just kind of like grab air and stuff or do a 360 or something. You're just spinning around on a rope, but it was like super rad. Like he just always had ideas and always like kind of like pursued it. And so I don't know, we were kind of, you watch skate videos and you listen to the music in it, you hear like punk rock and hardcore. I remember, like, clearly remember like 411, and then we got like listening to like Dak Nasty and et cetera, and some straight edge stuff, Judge and Gorilla Biscuits and all that jazz. But like he's just like, I'm gonna learn how to play guitar. So he bought a guitar and he started practicing. I was like, oh, I can front your band. Like, because I didn't really have any skills, other than I probably like, and so you're just like, I don't know, him and I, like, we wrote a song together for a demo. And we used to, like, early on, like, we would practice this song after school. And, you're starting to get exposed to everything, like, Minor Threat and all types of music. We like got exposed to like Heroin and Struggle and like Downcast and all the Born Against, all that stuff. Definitely some straight edge stuff that was like super popular. Maybe it like so we just kind of like, he bought a guitar, he started learning how to play, he started writing songs, and then simultaneously at the same time we lived in a town with this, it was called the Fiesta Motor Lodge, and it was like a cool space. Like I mean, it's dodgy, it's like, it's a motel. Like I think the rooms were probably hourly, but they had like a lounge. It was like carpeted and layered, and you walk in and you kind of like get into the lounge, and then there's like sort of a stage with like smoky mirrors behind it, and everything's like maroon and gold and dirty and probably smells like smoke or something, I don't know. But like they let us like people started like, because it's like everyone had bands and doing stuff in our neighborhood and in the area, like alternative bands or heavy metal bands, and so like they started putting on shows there, like where we could like walk over from our house or skateboard and just like hang out and see like, I don't know, some alternative band or some hardcore band or some punk rock band or some heavy metal band, random stuff. But like it was just like everyone was kind of like in our neighborhood was trying to start bands or do stuff with that, and I think that's kind of like all happened at the same time, I guess. But the Fiesta Motor Lodge was like hilarious. Like it's awesome. Like I saw like one of the best shows I've probably ever seen in my life was at the Fiesta Motor Lodge. We saw Resurrection play, and it was like around that time that was the New Age Records, like the 7-inch, like I'm Not Youth Culture. And I remember like losing my head to this because I was like, this is the greatest, everyone's singing along and stage diving and moshing and stuff. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. But anyway, Mike learned how to play guitar and we wrote a song together, and we would go to like people's like, we'd go to shows, we'd go to like people's like used to have like shows in basements, or like they have their birthday party and they'll have like bands play and stuff. And we're like, yo, can we play? We have our guitar and I can use a mic. And so we played like a couple shows with just Mike and I. Mike would play guitar and I would be like screaming my head off and jumping around, and then we'd be done because we only had one song. But it eventually, like, as like with, and like this is probably in a matter of like, because you're a kid, you think it takes like years, but this is like all in a matter of like weeks.
Wow.
And then remember we were at a show at the Fiesta Motor Lodge, and we saw a band play. I can't remember the name, but like our drummer Brian, he was like playing drums between sets, and like at the time, I'm like, that's the greatest drummer I've ever heard. I can't believe he's not in a band. And we like had the demo of the band that we saw. We wrote them a letter. They gave us Brian's phone number, address. We wrote him a letter, and he wrote back to us, and he's like, yeah, I'd love to be in your band. I can take the bus. I can come and play drums, and we're like, yes, we have a drummer. We're getting legit. And then as that's progressing, like, so Brian joins the band, and then we're like, well, we need to fill this out. We need a bass player. And somebody told us there's this kid in our school that can play bass. He's like really good. And we're like, dude, we got to get him to play. And so Mike and I make him like the best mixtape we could ever make, the best one. I actually think it's still probably the greatest mixtape ever made. But we made it for Derek, and we like approached him. So he's a year younger. He's like a year below us in school, and we like approach him, and like Mike and I are like, we're in a band, you know, this is kind of music we like. We know you're a really good bass player. Like, we know how good you are. And he's like, okay. So we gave him this tape, and it probably had like Minor Threat and Fugazi and Ma Saigon or Born Against and Struggle, and every band that you were digging at that time, and like some straight edge stuff, probably Earth Crisis, definitely. Like just so he could get like exposed to it. We're like, dude, we know he's the greatest bass player ever. So we're so lucky. And like, we only learned like, like probably last year, we only learned like Derek's like, I just got a bass the week before you guys gave me the mixtape. Like, he's like, I didn't know how to play. I don't know. I didn't know what to do. He's like, I think I just got the amp like the next day. And so he's like, I better start practicing. And like, he never like said anything to us for like all this time. And like, so anyway, we have a band. And then we were playing a show. Don was in this band Disregard, and we were playing a show with them. And I think we sort of had, I guess we had like 2 or 3 songs at that time. Like, we could like open sort of, and everything, like, I think things are so much more polished now. Like, people are more like, it would take us like 20 minutes to set up, and then we play for like maybe 7-8 minutes, and then we like take like 30 minutes to get to the next band because we had to like break down, and like, it wasn't as like seamless. Like, I don't know. It was funny. Like, last year, somebody was using the term backline, and I had never heard that before. Like, because like, I wasn't like, it's not, I'm, like, the guys that I'm in the Frail, the members are like really genuinely good musicians. And like, I was never, I was just fortunate to like hang out with them and do all that stuff. But like, I don't know, shit like that. I didn't even know what a fucking backline is. And like, even now I'm kind of like, sort of think I know, but like,
yeah, that's crazy to think about. Like, when Frail ended, you're just getting out of high school. So you still have that VFW experience, right? Of like smaller bands, and you're on the floor, and yeah, and everyone would take a really long time to get their stuff off, and the next band to set up, and like 8 bands play. Like, that was probably the last time you were doing it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I mean, I think, well, one, it's a really sacred space, and it was really nice. Like, I think, yeah, well, anyway, yeah, like looking back, like when you think of those spaces, like I just really enjoy those spaces. Like,
oh yeah,
I think they've informed a lot about what I try to create in my own life, and like what I enjoy the most, like, that kind of like openish and shared, but like not entirely judgmental. I mean, although there is judgment.
always.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I like, yeah, like, I know Frail was like, I don't know if like Frail is pretty caustic and really not, I don't know if it's for everyone. I know at the time, I don't know if we were liked or not liked, but we were happy to do what we were doing, so I mean, people did like us, but there was also people that probably really got annoyed by us, because we can be, well, I could be obnoxious, but Frail itself, they're great. Like, I'm like fortunate, anyways, I'm just fortunate to had been around those guys at the time, and I know for all of them, they're just learning and cutting their teeth, and they all went on to do other things. So it was just really nice. But like, some of the shit, like backline, or I don't know, shit, even sound checks, so I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Like, you're asking me to like talk before we start, and I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like, what do you say? Like, I don't know. So
I say check 1, check 2, check 1.
I know, but like,
that's it.
I'm just not that cool, I guess. No, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, you don't know. I don't know. Anyway, So we had like a 4-piece, and then Don saw us, and I guess he saw like, oh, these guys are super into it. They have like they're enthusiastic. I mean, we were genuinely enthusiastic. I will give you that. And I think we had some talent. Like Brian's a very good drummer, and Derek's a great bass player, and Mike's a good guitarist. And like, I think Don kind of saw like a little something there, and so he's like, "Can I join your band?" And we're like, "Sure." You know, like I don't know. I think if someone else asked us to join the band, like after Don did, we probably would have said sure, because I don't know, we had like weird ideas and like not weird ideas, but like I think we would be happy if like, can I play tambourine? Yeah, fuck yeah, join our band. But like, so we were like good, and then like Don, like I think was a little, I don't want to say more serious, but he was into like moving forward, and so we scraped together money, recorded a demo, and we would play any and every show that we could. Meaning, like, we probably played Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday for like 2 straight years.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, we just really went after it. We would play anything, like, we literally anything, like a bar mitzvah. Like, yeah, we're happy to do that. Your swim party, sure, we will be your band. Didn't matter. We always said yes. Like, it'd be like a Green Day cover bands, like only Green Day cover bands, and then us. And like we would play, like we didn't care. Like we were like, yes, please. And then like if we could play a show later that day at like, I don't know, anywhere, someone's basement or some VFW or some church or what have you, we would. So it was funny because I remember at one point, like, I think we may have had a little burnout. And I remember, like, it'd be great to have a weekend where we did nothing, like, and then we're like, wait, what the fuck were we doing? Like, just sleeping or something? I don't know. We wouldn't be sleeping. We'd just probably be trying to, like, oh, maybe we should play a show.
I do that
So much
every
fun.
week. Every week, I'm like, it would be great to have a day to just do nothing. And then a day comes where I don't have much to do, and I'm like, I have to do something or I'm going to go crazy.
Yeah, no, 100%. And, like, really, like, Frail was like, they were my friends. Like, I just wanted to hang out with them. So, like, if we had to play a show, sure. Like, let's get in the van and, like, let's put together our equipment. Let's go crazy and fall down and have fun and just have a really, like, invigorate. Like, it was just, it just was electric. It was really fun. Like, I don't know why you sometimes get tired and stuff. And it wasn't always easy. Like, like, I think a lot of the times we were like probably like, well, we were definitely malnourished. We benefited from Mike's mom, Ramona, like probably funding everything that we did, because he didn't, he wouldn't make any money. But I don't know. The band, like, we just all had kind of like a bit of energy, and we all wanted to do it. And particularly when we get together as kids and stuff, like we were super just, and we were fucking like nuclear. Like I just think like that when we got together, like we just be like Don would have like a part and Mike would have a part, and then Brian fits in drums and bass. I would like record it on cassette and then go home and sit in my basement and listen to it over and over and try painfully try to like fit words into it and stuff. And I don't know, it was just super rad. It was like a super great experience, and like I'm super fortunate to have had that. And it's amazing fortune. Like it's bananas that I even get to experience it again.
Yeah, that is something I want to explore for sure. But one thing I'm curious about, how did the spoken word interaction with the audience, questioning Q&A with the audience, back and forth with the audience, how did that develop? Is that part of your personality? Is that something you spearheaded? That's a part of the band I really like. How did that all come about?
I think, okay, honestly, we would go, we're mental, like we're just crazy kids, and we're really fun. So we'd play a song, and all the guys will be out of tune, and like the cymbal will be on the ground. So there would be this gap between songs. And they were like, all right, hold on, let me tune. But we didn't have like, like all the modern shit. Like it wasn't modern shit. Like people were like tuning, like looking at each other, tuning guitars and getting their bass back. And so like there's this like time, and like as a front person, you're just kind of up there. And then I just started talking. And as this interview goes on, I won't stop talking until you tell me to stop talking. So I'm maybe it's like, so that's, and like at the time, I really enjoyed when we were in school, and particularly maybe Mike got bullied. And, I was kind of like, maybe I probably was under the radar, I guess, or something, like, because I was pretty quiet, but I was like, I'm super nerdy. But like Mike got like bullied, and like these dudes would be like, you're subhuman. You know what I mean? Oh, you're less than this. And they probably just took it from like a Subhumans t-shirt they saw on South Street or some shit like that, whatever. But they would call us that, and it was like really upsetting. You know what I mean? So you're like, oh man, I'm less than. And this is like suburban bullshit, not even like actual real fucking, I don't know. Well, anyway, it's real, but like, yeah, anyway.
It could always be worse.
Correct.
But that doesn't minimize the experience you're talking about, because I was bullied bad in grade school. I was a nerd, and well, I'm still a nerd, proudly. And eventually I was just ignored, which was actually a step up. But
I probably was in that category for like a while.
But those experiences shaped me and deeply, deeply affected me, and still do for my entire life, about how I interact with people and how I am.
Yeah, I think for me, like the reason why I enjoyed the communication and like I don't think of like punk rock or hardcore. Like I see no separation between me and, I don't know, like pick your band that you love. I don't know. I'm going to get a good example. Like I love John Henry West, and like it was like one of my favorite records. And I know they didn't do too much, and I don't think I never even saw them. But I love their records. But I think when you hear the music and the sounds and everything, and I'm like, dude, I'm there. I don't know. It's all, you're like connected. And I think even bands maybe that I don't like, you can feel that energy and stuff. Like they're trying to put something forward, and you have the good fortune to be there to receive it, and vice versa. And I don't know, I just never really saw much separation between, like, I never thought of Frail as like a band. I thought it was like a cool way to go to shows. Like like, oh, we can open, but we also get to see, like, I don't know, Resurrection or Lifetime or, whomever, Iconoclast or Meryl or some shit. Like, I don't, like Policy of Three or whatever. Any band, like whatever band was happening at the time, like it just allowed us to get to go to shows and stuff, or gave us good reasons to go and just to be in a show. And like it was just, when you compare it to high school, which is where everyone's kind of like, I don't know, like down on you, but you go to a show or a punk rock show or a hardcore show, and like at this time in Philly and stuff, it was just like there was so many ideas, and people wanted to talk to you and like share thoughts, and like just like hang out and be with each other. Like, here are kids from, Flower Town, here are kids from Haverford, here are kids from like whatever, and you like get to hang out with them. They have different ideas, and they like different music, and they like, I don't know, they heard Susie and the Banshees and I've never heard them before or something like that. I don't know. Like there's so much out there, and it was like every time you got to play a show, you just got like engaged. And like, like I had like ideas that I wanted to share, and like I was okay like getting attacked, like or disputing things, or debating people, or talking to people, or letting people say what they wanted to say and stuff. Because like I don't really believe, like, just because I wrote some lyrics and I get to hold a mic, I don't think I should hold it all the whole fucking time. That's for fucking sure. Because a lot of people have a lot on their plate, and like, I found Frail super cathartic, and I wanted to do something. Like I loved Ebullition and like No Answers and all those records and or early records, and they mean a lot to me. And like so it's just like it was part of who I was, or who I am, I guess. So I don't know. Like the simple answer is that people had to tune their guitars, and I didn't know what to do with myself. And so I just started talking. And like sometimes you say, like, anytime you have like a stream of consciousness, you can say something really brilliant, or you can say something really stupid. And I think I made sure to do all of that in between every fucking song we ever played.
That's funny that it springs from something as simple as we have to fill the time between tuning guitars and all of that. But I'm so with you on everything you're saying. When I first came into the scene, I was like a lower middle class white kid, fairly entitled, and I did not have the exposure of the views and all of the good stuff that I learned from hardcore music and the scene. So when I saw someone making a speech or getting political, I don't know why, but I would get turned off. Like I would think it was stupid. I don't know. Maybe it's because the area I grew up in was mostly conservative or American propaganda, brainwashing. I don't know. But the longer I was exposed to it, the more my eyes got open to the truth and how I see things and the community. And slowly over time, I developed my own belief system. And and even now, but like things are very bad right now. And I feel this sense more than ever. I feel this sense of like, I want to help somehow. I want to do something. I want to say something. Can I help someone see something like I saw it one time? So having the opportunity to speak before you guys played in LA was great because I was like, oh, this is great. Let me take an opportunity to let people know where I stand and talk about unity and talk about bringing people together. Let me try to make a positive difference. So that was great.
I think like, and this probably like even like there's a lot of like, I don't know, everything's into factions. Here's a faction. This is, like this is this is that, this is that. But like that faction, you get riled up about like, oh, I'm anti whatever it is, whatever the fuck you're into, like anti woke, or you're MAGA, or you're fucking Christian, or you're, make America healthy again, or whatever. You get into these factions, but like, and like even like fucking liberals and all that shit, everyone gets sucked into these like little boxes, and
Hmm.
like the only one that benefits from that is fucking rich people, and it's only elites. And like I think it's important, like, and the beautiful thing about like hardcore and punk rock is like it is as well, no, it's not entirely, but like it is a public space where people can like express themselves and like have art and like work through ideas or work through thoughts and like be right, be wrong, fuck it, like, but it's like genuinely like engagement with your fellow human person. That's it. it's it's like as I don't know, it's just genuine engagement. And like there's so many like the modern world spends like so much is like a friend of mine was talking about like going to get his groceries, but like they put his groceries in the car like for him, like he makes the order. And I mean they probably do that shit in America all the time, but I don't know. But like and I'm like, that's bananas. Like, don't you like looking at fruits and vegetables? Like I love seeing like that. I mean, like that is like first world, like, benefit. But like, you go see all those like crazy, I don't know, fruits and vegetables and people buying shit. And, there's like a million types of peanut butter and nut butters and I don't know, all that rad shit. But I'm like, so you just go, you drive your car and you like someone puts it in your thing and then that's it. That's your interaction for today. And like, it's just not for me. Like, you just want, I don't know. I enjoy, like, I enjoy people and humanity and different people. And I'm like open to like learning and being exposed to things that I don't know, maybe make me uncomfortable or challenge me or what have you. And I'm okay with that. Like, I don't need to be right or, like, I don't, it's not important to me. What's important is that, like, the engagement, the care and empathy for your fellow person is there. I think punk rock and hardcore, at least what I experienced growing up, and like, to be honest, like, all the shows we got to play this past year have been exactly like that. Like, they're wild. Like, I never felt like close to, like, like, there's like generations of people that will come to shows now, like old heads and young people, and like, it's just like everyone's up for it and wants to be part of it. And I think that's, it's probably lacking in our modern world. And so when we get to do this, when you're still allowed to do this and gather and enjoy it, it's really nice to share with people. It's really positive. It's really fun. And, like, I love it. Like, I get to be, you get to let out like anger, but like, it's in a way that's like so joyful. Like, I don't know. I can't categorize it for me like entirely, but like, I am so buzzed by it. And I love when I see like people, like, whether they're doing like head banging or whatever, or just dancing goofy, or just letting it out. Because like, so much now there's so much scrutiny about like everything you fucking do, and like, punk rock shouldn't be around that. And it's just, that's the beautiful thing. Like, it's, it'd be, I think even now, like, as we experience, I guess, the scene, um 30 years on, I just learned recently 20 years is vintage and 30 years is antique. So, as an antique, no, just kidding, I'm fuck nostalgia, but like, we got to play this like Jamaican restaurant in Baltimore last September. Like, the back of it, there was like maybe 50 kids there. Fuck, lights gone out. There's this like Christmas lights on a stage, like weird. I don't know. There's like some weird dance hall, and I don't know. It's bananas. But I'm like, you look around, there was like, everyone was like, it's just a good mix of people that like genuinely care. Like, you could see this scene, like, they care about each other. They care what's happening. They're just trying to make things happen and work. And it was just beautiful. It's absolutely one of my, I don't know, so just a favorite show. And it's like, because people cared and were respectful of like people being different. And, some people wanted to dance, some people wanted to watch, some people just wanted to chat and hang out, some people, whatever. But it was like a space, like a safe space. Like, I don't know. I don't even think there was any like fucking pictures taken, which is like, that alone is like really special. Like, cause like, you can have an event, and the only thing that you take away from it is like, I probably walked away like with a bruise and like a sore throat, because I was trying to scream my head off for everyone that was like so excited to dance and move, and it's just like, we need those things. We need those kind of communal things to, I don't know, 99% of the people can beat the 1%. And the way you get that 99% together, and I don't know if it's just hardcore punk rock. It's not just hardcore punk rock. Like, there's definitely like other avenues to do that. But like, getting people together and out of their house and, you know, in the shit, like, that's what we need to do. And like, I think that's like what's so special about punk rock and hardcore, is that it really like lets you get in there. And like, I've seen bands that I'm like, they blew my mind because like, I wasn't prepared for it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm trying to think of a band. Like, I remember seeing like Antioch Arrow and Angel Hair. These are like two bands. They blew my mind. I couldn't. I was a straight edge kid. Like, like, I wore like khaki shorts and shirts and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, like, they blew my mind. they blew my mind. And like even now, I'm like they're like both bands are so like exceptional because they like were so challenging to me. But like at the time when I saw them, I was like, I don't know what I'm seeing here. Like this isn't hardcore. This isn't like what I know or something. But it really, I think it's super special and shit. Like so like that's what punk rock and hardcore is. Like you see shit that like not sure how you're gonna take it. Like you said, like sometimes people will like say shit about politics, like whatever, and you're like, I don't know, dude. Like I don't know if I'm into that or whatever, and that might turn you off. But like you went somewhere where you were exposed to something that is different, and as time progresses, like maybe how you experience it changes to it, like changes from it. You know what I mean? Like I think
Yeah.
that's like a real like, but the way the world is today is like you're stuck in your little faction. You go to these things where it's like only echo chambers, and like to go into a space where and a lot of like punk rock hardcore, you have a sense of mentality like that drives you there. But James Spooner, I don't know, he blew my mind when I was a kid when we
You
would like
guys
talk.
met him up at ABC No Rio, right?
Yeah, and he would like, yeah, he was like a true punk kid, and he was like wanted to hang out with us, and we loved it. Like I love him, like I actually love him, but like he like really challenged us, like in ways that I was like, oh, this is like punk rock, or this is squatting and stuff like that, and like shit like that, like he didn't know because we grew up in a fucking suburb,
What was it
um,
like going up there and experiencing that? I can imagine because I was a pretty sheltered suburban kid, so I could imagine going to the Lower East Side and ABC No Rio and hanging out with squatter punks and just being like, "Whoa, this is way beyond my comprehension." What was it like for you?
I love that shit. Like I'm genuinely like so like I thought everything was amazing. I was like, this is where you sleep? This is where you shower? Can I shower? And like he's like, why? You like, do you need a shower? Like, no. You know what I mean? Like, but he like taught us like there's a lot of like James taught like we had like self-reliance and like we would do a lot of things ourselves, but like James like showed us like a different world of doing it yourself, like a really expansive, really awesome, fun world. I think he taught us how to like help us make our first silk screen like thing, and like we like, and not that I encourage it, but like we would buy like their store T-shirts because they used to be so cheap, and we would just like silk screen them so they could have like some little league like Pizza Hut, sponsored Little League on the front, and then we'll just like silk screen like Frail on it, and then like try to sell it for like $5.
Yeah. That DIY approach is important. That I have great respect for people that young who managed, like you and Mike just went up there and played. It was just a guitar player and you just went and played your one song, or James teaching you guys silk screening and everything else he taught you. That I just have respect for people who that young just went out and did it. Because when I was young, I had a lot of fear. I don't know. I wish I would have just not cared and just went out there and did stuff more.
I think I benefited from being friends with Mike, Derek, and Brian and Don. Like you're because you had like-minded people that were enthusiastic for the world and like for doing things. No, I won't say the world. I'll just say for doing things, whatever it is. We're just super enthusiastic to do something, and it makes it easy, because everyone's in like the group that I was with. Everyone was into doing their own thing and doing stuff and like geeking out, whether it's like they're interested in guitars or drums or bass or like skateboarding or art or like learning about politics. Like we're I'm trying to remember, like James like would always like challenge us on like stuff that we didn't understand. We were fortunate. We met this is probably like we have some friends from Princeton, New Jersey, and I guess I would say they were riot girls at the time, but like we became friends with them, and like they really like helped us like expand our views, like open like, oh shit, there's like some other shit, it's not, I don't know. So James and Riot Girls and like this whole like melting pot of like thoughts and ideas, and like coming to all that, like growing up in like a white suburb, you're just like, it really like was all like, it like opened your eyes, I guess. And like I was like open to hearing it, and like I said, like I don't care if I'm right or wrong, like I'm just like happy to be engaged and happy to like grow.
Same
Yeah.
here. Like I know who I am. I know where I stand. I know how I feel about people. So if you think I'm wrong, that's okay. I know who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for me, it's just like, I think punk rock hardcore allowed people to like work through ideas and share ideas and communicate ideas. And no one was really like, you can't say this because, you're what makes you this. I don't know. You didn't, the authority of like, there's no, I don't want to say there's, I guess, there's like no, like, no one's endowed with authority to be like, listen to me. It's not like, oh, I'm the teacher and this is the classroom or some bullshit like that. It's like, hey, dude, we're all here. This is what I learned. This is what I know. Like, this is how you make like fucking, like lentils, like, or and this is like, let me tell you about anarchy. Let me like, this is what I read about like communism. This is what I read about like socialism. This is like race politics or gender politics and stuff. And like, I just thought I found it exposed me to a lot of great ideas and thoughts. And like, if my principle and core belief is like in people, being aware of like structures or whatever, power structures that like undermine people, and like ways to like break those structures so that these people can like exist freely. I was way like well open to it and still remain open to it. And I think
Same
now,
here. Yep.
like people like the 99% just needs to be get out there and be together and like let people like express themselves, like whether it be anger or poetry or love or whatever the fuck they want to express. Like, but you need to create those spaces where people are engaging each other in a meaningful way versus like shouting someone down or I don't know, fucking shooting someone, like the
Yeah.
fuck ever it is. But like, I don't know, that's my belief. And I just think like punk rock and hardcore, like what's the minor threat? We're not the first, and I hope we're not the last. I genuinely believe that. And like, we were part of a fucking amazing river, I guess, like whether you think of like Articles of Faith or Heroin or Born Against or Struggle or fucking, I don't know, Gorilla Biscuits or Youth of the Day or some shit like that. Earth Crisis Earth Crisis. Like fucking Struggle, fucking Iconoclast, like Rorschach, all those fucking bands. I'm part of it. And like you have bands that, today, like February or Nuva Lascora, or we played with this amazing band, Cash Only Tony's in New York. Like, I don't know, like I'm so happy to be part of that river. Like wherever whatever pocket I exist in, and like I just love to see it continue, and like it's space where people can like express things and like raw, as true as possible for people. And I think that's the beauty of hardcore punk rock, and it's like getting everyone together and being that. And I think when we do shows or what we're okay, so we took a break. And like, but to get back together, like I just really didn't feel like I'm it's just like we took a break. Like
Well,
I don't know.
let me ask about that because it does blow my mind that you guys were so young and doing so many epic adventures that I've read about, like the van breaking down and having to take the engine cover off and manually manipulate stuff with your hands to drive 4 hours back home to get home for school on Monday, and Don not having shoes for the whole summer from running away from cops from pool hopping on your epic national tour with who was it? Spirit Assembly, and just this would make like a perfect coming of age movie. Someone needs to make it. I hope it happens at some point. And then it's like we get to the end of high school and it's like, oh, we don't do that anymore. Oh, and then we're splitting up, right? And then there's like the big cinematic sad ending and everyone goes their separate ways, like in Stand By Me or something. So I wanted to so I wanted to ask about that. From what I've read, it seems like straight edge was at the core of the belief of Frail, your version of straight edge, not a militant, hateful thing, but Frail's specific version of straight edge and the openness and the community and the discussions and your beliefs on it. And it seems like not everyone was on board with that anymore towards the end of high school, and maybe that was what fractured some things. Is that what happened?
I mean, we were definitely okay. Like we're teenagers, and I don't know. I wouldn't even say we're becoming adult men or moving into like adulthood or whatever. Like we were teenagers that were becoming older teenagers. So, like, I think there's a lot of changing. Like your cells change annually or more frequently. Like your whole body's changing constantly, and your mind is evolving and expanding, and you're opening up new pathways and you're closing old pathways. But whatever. But you're always kind of changing, and I think we were evolving. Like there were bands that were straight edge that it wasn't like a thing. It wasn't a defining thing, and I think, well, straight edge is awesome in the sense that, like, for me, it gave me a lot of time to like just be a kid. We went on tour and like I was a fucking kid. Like we went pool hopping. I climbed an abandoned church tower. Like I walked around city streets like that I've never seen before, like Little Rock or I don't know, fucking where else? I don't know. Like remember chasing lizards in Florida, like with Brian, like trying to catch lizards. Like I don't know, like what are we gonna do with them? Keep them as pets or something? I don't know. But it was like the most enjoyable thing. But we're like try to catch a lizard, but like if you're in Florida, there's like always another lizard like right behind you. So it's just like what? It was so much fun. Being in like I don't know, there's so many fucking awesome things. Like being in our van broke down in like New Mexico somewhere, and you like open the door and you're like in this world that's like so foreign from like green lawns. I don't know. I think straight edge gave me the opportunity to do things and pay attention to things where I wasn't focused, like some of the things that I could have been focused on, like whether it's drinking or doing drugs, I guess, or whatever. Like I didn't, like I had time to focus on other shit. I mean, I focused on like, skateboarding and like trying to like figure ways to get some money to buy more records. Like that's all I could think about. So it just gave me space. And I think having space, having that kind of freedom to just explore things you want to explore, whether it's like, I don't know, you want to read Ethan Frome or you want to fucking, I don't know, read Karl Marx or something. I don't know. Or you may want to just learn how to play like a jazz trumpet or basket weave or garden or something. But like I had space to do it because I didn't have capacity. And I think that's what straight edge was for me. It gave me an opportunity to do things that I don't think I would have been able to do if I was just like worried about like how to get a beer or how to, I don't know. That's just my approach to straight edge. And I thought,
No, real quick, you're absolutely right, because when I was young, that was the trap I fell into: drinking, drugs, chasing women. So by the time I'm 18, 19, 20, that's all I'm thinking about, and everything else takes a back seat. And I wish I would have focused more on the things you're talking about, because that's where it's really at. But continue.
No, but like it just gave us a little space and it allowed us to have capacity to take on things like, should we go play this show in Buffalo, New York? Should we play this festival in Ohio? You know what I mean? Like figuring out how to get a van, like taking a stupid job to figure out how to get money. Like getting money was always difficult because you never got paid, and like you know, you don't make, like, I was a paper boy and I didn't make a lot of money. And I remember like telling my brother, I'm like, oh, can you cover my route? I'm going to be away for like 2 months or some shit. And I was like, but I get all the tips. He's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, like, so any tips, I want him when I come back. And he's like, you're not getting the tips. And I'm like, come on. But anyway, so I think straight edge, like, so as we were like, you know, I know we were like a straight edge band. And I think there's aspects of us that is still straight edge, but I think it became less important to us because like in a lot of ways, what I was hoping, and I probably like, I'm, I, I'm super optimistic and probably really naive. Like I can just imagine someone like anything I say, like I can always imagine the opposite of like someone tearing you apart, whatever. Like, no, you're an idiot, you know. And I know that, I recognize that, but like I was super optimistic. Like I thought like straight edge is actually this cool world where it's like everyone can hang out and like practice their instrument and read and share ideas and make food and like I don't know, play games and like it's almost like this like I thought it was a space of like pure actual like freedom just to be like yourself and stuff and like circling back to being like bullied and being called subhuman. I was like, this is a place where I'm not fucking subhuman. I'm like everybody else. And everybody else is like not I'm not like everybody else, but like you're just like everyone's like they're not judging you and they're not calling you things, and that's what I thought straight edge could be was like this freedom, you know, like because like if you're drinking and you're like trying to party and like stuff like you get caught up like do I look cool or like whatever, like I'm not cool. Like I never like pretended to be cool and stuff and like I don't care like I don't care. I mean, you do like I like things like whatever cool things, but like you know, like it just wasn't important to me. What was important to me was like being with people that like I don't know cared about each other, and I just feel like that's what maybe I naively thought straight edge was or could be. But there is like you know militant straight edge and I don't know some stupid shit, but I guess I don't, you know, and not that I didn't listen to it or like it or like I love like I don't know, like I said, like I think when we tried to record our first song, like we definitely tried to like mimic Earth Crisis, 100%. We we had the 7-inch, the Firestorm 7-inch, and I'm like, man, this just sounds so crazy, and like you wanted that, but like it's just not a vibe that I want. I don't know, like I wanted people to be comfortable, like being together, and sometimes I think maybe the way straight edge was at the time, it kind of was like cutting people out, and it just wasn't important. That was not the. I didn't want that to be my defining characteristic. And so I don't know if that necessarily broke us up, but I remember James said to us, like, dude, if you're worried about someone, what did he say? I'm gonna butcher this, but like I remember it blew my mind at the time, but it's like you're worried about someone maybe breaking X or fucking straight edge, like you got fucking other issues to worry about, dude. There's so much shit more than that. But for me, like personally, like I like straight edge. Like I think it's great. And like I think there were like bands that had moved on. There's like big bands with guys in the band that are fucking straight edge. And like it suits them, but it's not like they're not being prescriptive about it. And I think that's pretty righteous because like you know what suits yourself. And sometimes it takes you a little while to find it. We met a guy in LA, he was asking me about being straight edge, but like he wasn't straight edge for a long time. He just became straight edge. He might be like mid-30s or some shit. And he's like, so you guys aren't straight anymore? And I'm like, well, no, but like maybe I don't know. But like you know like how it depends on how you view it. Like I always have capacity for like growing and learning and stuff. Like I love gardening and like I'm so open to it. And like I don't know, like I just think that's what like straight edge could have been or could or should be. It's like not closing doors but opening doors, I guess, is the sort of thing. Like like I said, like I was just really lucky with the people I met, and like and just like being able to have capacity to like hear them out, and like, oh, what you're saying is cool. I want that to be part of who I am and stuff. And I wasn't dismissive or anything like that. And I think that's what straight edge is about, is just about being like lucid and having capacity to like listen to your fellow person. And that's how I've always thought of straight edge. And I think when we wrote lyrics and like, I don't know, we all live to grow, and we really emphasize connection and stuff. Is just like, that's what matters. And, sometimes, I don't know, it's probably simplistic, like somewhat, like when you think about like drinking, like, I don't know, like someone drinks tequila and they want to fight. Like, like what the fuck, dude? Like, why do you want to get to that state? I can understand, like, if you drink, like, I don't know, like gin and you just want to laugh and like be goofy and like sit in the sun, happy days, like whatever it is. But like, I don't know. So, but I probably, going on tour was really hard as young men. We were all changing, like hormonally, and like I I was just, like, I'm super emotional. I was more wait, I was way more emotional as a kid. Like, would get angry and then just like in a second, like be like, I fucking hate whatever, and then the next second I'd be like falling asleep, or the next second I'd be like laughing. You're like, it was bananas. Like, my hormones were out of control. And so like I think we were all kind of experiencing that change. And I think when we ended, it was disappointing. I just went on to college, and I know the other guys tried to, they reformed and did a band briefly. And, I know Mike went on and did other bands and stuff like that. And I think it was probably good to stop. I think, I don't know what we would have, if we would have continued. I don't know where we were going to go. Like, like I know, so we had these, like, I had this idea. I wanted to write a bunch of songs about activities, like riding your bike and pool hopping, like straight up hardcore songs just about like pool hopping. I still don't know what that would be. We did write the song about riding your bike with your friends, and like it just like, because that's all I was like really cared about that shit, because I think that matters. And it's like just having that sense of freedom. Like, I guess it's like, I don't know, when people like go out and ride motorcycles and stuff like that or stuff. And I just I didn't get my license until I was like 19. So like, so I can only think about bicycles at the time. But like, yeah, I guess, I mean, it probably played a part, but I also think primarily like we were kids going through some changes and growing up. And then we were also not very good about, and we're not always, even now, we're like not always good about like talking through some shit. Like, think about it, like with your partner, like you can like fucking 48 years old. Like, I can't, can't always communicate with my partner like super clear with clarity, or without like saying something fucking mean or stupid. And like when you're a kid, 17, 18, like you can barely it's hard to have like a real like thoughtful conversation sometimes without some emotions overwhelming you, or being
Yeah.
angry or pissed off and shit. And like being on tour together, we were broke all the time. We were hungry all the time. We smelled. We barely showered. Like we'd play these like sweaty houses or VFWs, or I don't know. We didn't even play any like fucking clubs or anything. I don't. Maybe we did, but like you just be dirty, and I don't know. And I don't know. So you're probably like in a really difficult. You put yourself in a really difficult space. So like at the end of the tour, you kind of just want to be like, oh, like, but we didn't know how to not be with each other, but we didn't know how to also, like, we didn't also know how to like fight for each other in a way that's like meaningful. You know what I mean? Because you're a kid. because you're just
Yeah,
like
when you're a
pissed off.
kid, it's just like, nope, it's over, on to the next thing. That's how I was. It sounds like that's how a lot of people are, based on
Yeah, no,
many
and you
conversations I've had.
yeah, like you can't. We weren't. I wasn't capable of having a good conversation with Mike or Don or Brian or Derek. Now, even now, we're better at it, but we can always be better. Everyone, you can always be better at conversations. But like, like you're always learning and shit. Like, but at that time, no way. Like not at all. And like I don't even know. And like when we ended, like I think of Frail as like a really intense relationship. I was hurt, um, sad, probably depressed, and my response was like, "Fuck it, I'm done." And like I walked away, and I had I don't know I vaguely thought about doing another band, vaguely, but like I don't really want to because I didn't really like those are the guys I wanted to be in the band with. And then I remember like Don reminded me of this. I think like maybe like a year or two after we broke up, we got together at Mike's house and practiced and like thought about like doing it again. And I remember like hanging out with them and I was like, I was still like mad. It's 2 fucking years later, you know what I mean? Or a year and a half later, whatever the fuck it was. Like I'm sitting there like angry and I don't even know why when I should have been like, this is great. Like, can't believe we're all back together. But I was like, not doing this shit. You know what I mean? Like it's so dumb. But like, I don't know. Like even now, like it's just like, I think it's just like, I don't know. It's really like lucky. I'm like really, really fucking lucky. I love like playing shows. I don't want to say I forgot how much I like playing shows, but like it's always, I guess it's always been there and stuff, and it's still in within me. But I'm like, I think playing shows is like the greatest fucking thing. It's like so much fun,
It
so
is.
much fun. Like whether it's like 10 people or like 100 people, I don't give a fuck. But like it's just so much fun to get to like do art or music or express yourself in a way that's meaningful to you. And like I just think that's really special. And like I'm really grateful like that we even got to like I think last year we played like 20 shows. Like
Really?
yeah, like it's fucking rad.
That is
Like
awesome.
it's so rad. And like I don't know, we like played 4 shows in 2026. I hope we can do the same or more, like I don't know if there's interest and excitement and everyone like if the band's still excited for it.
When did discussions start about coming back and playing again? And had you been in touch with everybody over the years?
So no, I haven't talked. I literally have not talked to anybody in like so like
Really?
so in 2024, like maybe the spring or fall of 2024, Mike reached out to me. He's like, "Would you have any interest in like having like like?" So I guess Mike might have like contacted Numero or vice versa, and like, would you have any interest of like having our stuff out there? And I was kind of like, I guess it'd be cool to like have it all in one space because we have a bunch of like comps and 7 inches and stuff, and all of them are out of print. And I have some copies, and you know, yeah, I mean, there was like a weird Blood Link fucking CD that we didn't even. I don't know. They had all our shit on it, but like I'm like I don't even have that, and like I don't even know where. Like it'd just be nice to have everything in one place. And so Mike's like, okay, I'll reach out to Derek and Brian and Don, and we all kind of just like started this slow conversation like that. I guess we'll let Numero like gather all the shit up and put it out, like put it online. And I remember when we first started talking to them, I was like, they're like, yeah, we'll put it out there and we'll see what the interest is, and then maybe in a few years we'll do a vinyl release. And well, I don't know if it's kind of just luck. Like I guess they announced that Frail was on the label, or like, oh, we just signed to. I don't know, like just signed to the label, like, woo. But like they put like some Instagram, and it got a lot of really good reviews and excitement, and probably because everyone's like, what the heck is that kid doing, losing his head? And so they were kind enough to be like, oh, there's enough interest, we're going to do a vinyl and do a full treatment, I guess. So it was really nice, and you got to reflect on the band and stuff like that. And Numero has been like super nice and super supportive of us. We're really lucky. Like, that's all. I mean, I think it's just lucky. Like, sometimes you're like, I don't know, like really like Indian Summer, and like kind of like, oh, we're on the same label as Indian Summer. Like, in my little like 16-year-old brain, I'm like, this is the greatest fucking thing. So it's just super rad to be there. And so that probably started about early 2024, spring 2024. And then as it got closer to like, oh, they did that, like, oh, Frail signed to Numero, and there was a good positive reaction. Although somebody said something like, because we always focus on the, like, you can be a million really nice things can say about you, but the only thing you think of is like the negative thing. And I remember, well, because I don't do social media, but somebody like wrote something like in the comments, like, let dead things stay dead or something. And I was like, that's the fucking best response, because I don't know, I just think it's hilarious.
That stuff, depending on what it is, it's so funny. Like when my band got announced and the first single got announced, I read the comments under one of the articles, and someone just said, "Give up."
But it's
and I thought that was really funny. And then my friend's band, they did a really nice long article on a record of theirs, and one of the comments was, "Easily one of the worst things ever recorded." I think depending on how they word it, I think some of that stuff is really funny, like the negativity.
Thought it was really funny, but I mean, like, I genuinely think they probably meant it.
Yeah.
And like, I think as a band, as we like started talking about the idea of like playing shows again, and I guess, I'm not interested in like transporting people back to 1995 or 1994. Like, it doesn't interest me. Like, yes, I think there's an aspect of Frail that's, there's nostalgia. Like, I met some people that like, they have Frail tattoos, and like, and they were like always a fan from like when, back in the day. And I think that's like amazing. But like, I don't think Frail as like a nostalgia, like, we just didn't really want to be like a nostalgic act. And then you can't totally eliminate that. Like, we didn't write a new LP or some shit, and we did. I mean, it's not like we're refusing to play old songs. Like, I kind of want to play songs from the demo because I just think it'd be fucking hilarious. But like, but we can't like, because you listen to it, and like Don and Mike and Brian and Derek all like done other bands, and they're like, what were we doing? Like, how does this go? And like, because they're fucking kids at the time making a racket, So I think when we like kind of decided that we made a commitment to say like, we're not, Frail never had fucking glory days. There's no fucking glory days. So like, we're not reliving fucking glory days. Everything was really fun, but like also really challenging. I think like when we look, like Mike said it to me, he's like, the thing I learned from fucking Frail is fucking, I can endure anything. I can endure not eating. I can endure like a broken foot for like, how many weeks, because I didn't know it was broken or some shit like that. You know what I mean? You can just endure things. And I think it's something like, I have really good patience, and
you can endure almost getting sued as well.
Yes. Well, Mike would probably have a different take on it, but yeah. I'll tell that story. But I think for us, as we were evolving, like as this conversation was evolving, like we did interviews and to do the booklet and talk about Frail and like our experiences and stuff. And, it was really informative into the person I am today. And the guys in the band, like, I love those guys dearly. Like, I think they're all really amazing, like, people. Like, grew up, they've like had their challenges and all that stuff, but they're just like, I think they're better than they were when I knew them as kids.
Getting to spend some time with you guys was great because it just it reminds me, there's so many parallels of my own experience growing up, my friends, the bands we were in, the scene, the local scene, everything. And hanging out with you guys, we grew up in the same area too. So hanging out with you guys just really reminded me a lot of that. And
Yeah, no, it's like, it's really nice, and it's kind of cool to get to do it when you're fucking like 30 years later. But like
yeah,
after Frail, I was so upset and angry, and I walked away, and I literally did not talk. Like I would see, like, I think I saw Brian at the mall one time, like, but that was like 10 years after Frail. And I don't think I ever saw Don. I think, no, I did see Don once. He gave me an Ink and Dagger record. And I remember being like, oh, so this is your new band? And like, I'm kind of angry, but like, I'm like, good for you. But like, like whatever. But like, you just gave me like 5 records or some shit. Like, I'm like, all right, thanks, man. But like, good for you. But like, I don't know. It was, you're like, you don't know how to feel about it because you're like a kid, and you're like, should I be mad or should I be happy? Like, should I be mad or happy? And I'm like,
I would have been
man,
mad. I was like you. I could not let things go and I would get very upset.
I was just upset, and I just didn't know how to handle a lot of that shit. When I should have just, when you're like in hindsight, you're just like, just happy that they're like fucking still making fucking things and still being active and rad. And Mike went on and did like Goodbye Monday, and I think he eventually did. I don't even know when Mandela Strike first was in there, but I don't know. But like Goodbye Boo Monday and AM/FM and all that jazz, and like everyone went on and did stuff. I think it's great. I should never. It's never healthy to begrudge someone. But like it was just like you're so intimate with them, like because it was so growing up. But like, so anyway, as we're talking, I don't know. I think we all recognize, like, a friend of mine told me a story about like a band that got back together from her heyday, and it's like a pop punk band or some shit. And she's like, I used to listen to this in art class and like do my art and listen to it and just love it, just be happy. And she like goes and see them, and like everyone's like not, they're like kind of mailing it in, and like at some point like the front person like throws up or some shit, like, but not in a cool punk rock way like that he meant to. I think it was like completely like things got out of control. And she was just like, oh, this is really sad. And so as I think about, so that was something in my head, but like I think Don talked about it probably like when he was a kid, his dad would like take him to go see like, I don't know, like bands from like, I want to say maybe the 50s or 60s, like guitar bands or something, or like these like nostalgia acts, like who's Johnny, and he's playing guitar, and like, and Don's like, I just thought it was kind of sad. And he's like, I just don't want to do that. It's like not important. Like, he's like, if we're going to just be sad, I can just do that in my fucking house or some shit. So I think we made a conscious decision to be like, we don't want to, like, because I can't, I can't scream like I used to. I have the same energy. I just, I don't know. My voice is matured, I guess. But like, we just didn't want to be nostalgic. And as we thought about the shows, we wanted to do something good. So like, we updated Spoken. I think about the songs and about who the guys are. And like, when I say stuff, like, I'm like, yeah, this song was like, whatever the song was about. Like, Static was like, I genuinely wrote it about like sitcoms. And yeah, that's what it was about. But you know exactly what it's about now. It's about your fucking phone. And it's still meaningful and still important. And, like seeing what you did in new light is really fun. It's really like, I don't know, like feels really, this is going to sound funny or something, like feels really soulful in a way. I did this when I was like, we did this when we were kids, and to come back and to get a chance, which is like super lucky to revisit it, is really just like great. Like, it's just like, oh, like, like sometimes you get down on yourself and you're like, oh man, like I'm a piece of shit or some shit. I don't know. But like sometimes they're like, I wasn't always a jerk. Like I did like not, and I don't think I was a jerk, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you get down on yourself, but then you actually like, man, maybe I did do something kind of cool. And it actually like is still vital and meaningful. And, I'm glad being with those guys that they gave me the opportunity, or they like inspired to do something like that. And so like to come back and revisit it, it's all brand new. And like I love that like aspect of it. Like, and I think it means so much more to me. Like, I think a lot of the songs that we wrote as kids were like didn't really like bullies. Like I really think most of our songs are about like, if you're a bully, you're a jerk, like don't need you. Like stop. Like let people just be, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And so, yeah, so as we got back together and we decided to play shows, we just made a commitment to each other that like it's not nostalgic. We want to play shows because we want to play shows, like because we're a punk rock band, and like we're happy to play the back of a Jamaican restaurant or anywhere. Like we played a bunch of places. Like we played, well, I don't think we should play like clubs. We played one club in LA, and not that it wasn't a great experience, because I think the band sounded really good, but it was just like, this is like our vibe. But like the last LA shows, like we got to play in Riverside, which was like in a fucking basement of a bookstore. And I was like, this is exactly where Frail belongs.
That's cool. Yeah.
And like I was so concerned, like 'cause we were in this basement, and I was like, oh, there's like this like metal thing and nails out of the wall. Like when I was a kid, I never thought about this shit, but like as like a middle-aged man, I'm like, I don't want to get my head poked with a nail or some shit. So I'm like taking out nails so I can like know that like everyone can have a good time and be safe. But it's a different approach that I have. When I was a kid, I didn't really care. But now I'm kind of like, let's have fun. But like, I don't want anyone to like get a nail in their head, I guess. But like that energy, that fucking show in Riverside was fucking awesome because everyone was like fucking enthusiastic. And like, I don't know, there's like people there like, oh, next time you're back in Riverside, can my band play? And I'm like, sure, man. Well, we haven't started yet, but we're gonna get it together. And I'm like, get it on. Like that's what like that's exciting to me. And that's like that's what hardcore and punk rock is. Like, think about the bands you saw, and I can tell you, like, seeing Resurrection, like when I saw them, I might have been like 12 or 13 or some shit, blew my mind. Like I thought they were so powerful, so amazing. I mean, like they were probably, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years older than me or some shit at the time. But it was so awesome. And they just like had such conviction and belief in themselves. And it was so powerful, and it's awesome. It's just special. And like, I know when Frail gets together, we have an energy that gets well, it's translated no, I don't know. Like
Transmitted.
Transmit it.
Yeah.
But like it's put out there in a way that's like, like I know for a fact people fucking see fucking Frail and be like, fuck that shit. Which is totally fine with me because they have a reaction. And I kind of like when I was a kid, I was probably more antagonistic than I am now. But I was like, I'm okay with that. I don't care because I know that person's gonna walk away and do something about it. Because like whatever we did, they're like, oh, these guys are fucking obnoxious. Like, don't tell me what to fucking do or some shit. And then they go and do their own thing, and it worked. You know what I mean? And there's people that like really enjoyed us and really like we spoke to them, and they went on and did their own fucking thing. And I think that's fucking hardcore punk rock. Like I love that. I love like when you're like, I would go to shows and someone would say something and I'd be like, I'm not into that, stupid. But it doesn't stop you. It actually probably fueled you to some extent to be like, I'm gonna learn how to fucking play guitar. I'm gonna fucking do my own shit because I don't want to hear this fucker, whatever, saying something like, I don't know. Like, it's just, I think that's what the beauty of like DIY, hardcore, and punk rock is. There's just such a conversation. I don't know. Who did I see? I'm trying to think of someone I saw. My wife and I, we went and saw Pink, and like, she's an amazing performer, and like her songs are beautiful and great and fun, right? But like, I don't necessarily feel like a dialogue and like a 50,000 seat, you know, stadium, where the fuck we were, you know. You know, you can appreciate the show. It's special, and there's artistry and there's talent, and she's a right on person. But like, I think with hardcore, I don't know, it's more engaging.
That's what I like about it. That's what drew me in. I was like, wait, I can do this. I can play in a band. My friends are playing in bands. We have access to them. They're right there. We can talk to them. You know, that you don't get that
Yeah,
with
like
a
I think,
stadium experience.
yeah, and like I don't know, like I just think it's really rad, and it's like all bands, like all like when you think about like whatever the line of like American hardcore or American punk rock or whatever, it's vibrant. It's so much like going on. It's like rich, like it's like mana. Like there's like a lot of shit there that's like happening, and like a lot of things get sprung from it. And I think that's really special. And I think that's all you ever want to be a part of. Like I have no delusion. Like you know, like someone's gonna maybe hear Frail and or heard Frail and it was like they made a better band. I'm sure of it, 100% sure of it. Or they made a response to like Frail sucks and they made a better band, or they liked Frail and they just did it better. You know, whatever the fuck it is, or they're just like, this is just ridiculous. Melt this wax and we'll press a record. Like perfect, that's fine. But you're part of that environment, and I think that's really special. And like, I'm glad people are interested enough to like have us come play and even get to do it like 30 years later. So, but like to circle back, I did not see the guys for like 30 years. And when we decided to play a show, we made a commitment to ourselves not to be, I can't bring you back because I'm not exactly that person. And at that time, like I'm the person I am now. And that's part of me. But like, I don't want to like, divide what I am now from what I was, or you don't know, like I don't know how to think about it. Like, but I don't know. I know we're playing like old songs, um, but we're not trying to be like nostalgia. We're trying to approach it differently. I know the guys they've like we've changed, like because they're so talented. Like the arrangements have changed, presentation has changed. Like we've evolved, and it's true to I think it's like both true to who we were and who we are. And I think it's a pretty awesome feat that we pulled it off somewhat, I think.
You did.
Um and like I think that's cool. Like I like it. Like if it was something like pure like let me take you back to the basement in 93. Like I don't know if that's really interesting to me. It is interesting, but it's more interesting is like how that can you like well not recreate it, but like does that space exist now? Which I think it does. And are there people as excited? Like I don't know, like yeah, there is. And I think it's great. Like I just think there's a vibrancy still there. And it's different, you know, like I said, like people ask us about a backline. And I don't again, I know what it is now, but I didn't know what it was. And like, I remember somebody told me we did one show, and somebody told me like you should have your own microphone, and I'm like, why? And like, because I never would buy anything. Like, and just we were talking about looking for like a good price point. Like, I'm always trying to get like something really cheap, but that's really good. So like, I didn't think I had to like buy a microphone, but he was like, oh well, like if someone screams into it, like you can get germs and stuff. I'm like, I never thought about that. You know, like even now, I'm like, I remember like I thought I should do it, but then I'm like also kind of like I I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm pretty germ conscious, so I'm surprised I haven't done that. I haven't even really thought about it, which is
Somebody
interesting.
said that to me because you're like
Yeah.
if you're like holding a mic and screaming into it, and like also I feel I broke a couple mics last year. I didn't break any this year so far, but that's always my goal. No, that's not my goal. But like I broke a couple mics. We played this like art it's like a punk rock art museum, not an art museum, art gallery in outside of Pittsburgh. And I broke a mic, and then they gave me a new mic. But then I was like thinking to myself, oh, I feel so bad. I broke this mic. They didn't even ask me for, like, I didn't get sued for it. So that was the best part. No, but I broke a mic, and then they gave me a new mic, and that mic survived. But like, yeah, I never even thought about it because I was like, would I have two mics then or three mics? like in case I break one? Like, oh no, but like that's like I don't know. Said it was like a germ thing, and I was like, nah, I'll be fine. Whatever, dude. Um,
Tell us what's coming up for Frail. I have spoken to Don and Mike, and they said they're working on new ideas. Have you gotten to that stage yet?
oh, 100%. It's exciting because well, yeah, well, I don't know what we'll do and if we do anything. Like, so I guess I have to put like, I know for us, we have interest in writing music and stuff, and like I probably have done like how many I know I've done like four different versions, like re-updated our spoken word because I think it needed it because I think I referenced Hillary Clinton or something in the original one, which I don't know.
Apparently, still a problem according to certain file releases lately. But listen,
I mean,
that's a conversation for another show.
not no, I referenced Chelsea Clinton, so it's like not even her. It was
Oh,
because I think it wasn't even. I mean that's fucking rich people doing really rich sick shit, so they can fucking blackmail each other to do fucking really mean things to fucking people, like just normal fucking people,
yeah.
like the 99%. That's all it is. Like it's fucking sick and gross, but like it's just rich people trying to have something, like it's fucking blackmail shit and sick fucking cruel shit. It's fucking gross. But like I think a lot of that is like it gives people excuses to be really cruel to everyone else.
Hmm.
Like, oh, I got this fucking video of you, I got this picture of you. You should be fucking drone bombing this fucking wedding
Yeah,
or
it's a
whatever the fuck it is.
trade-off. I have this picture of you. You'll do what I say, but in exchange, I'll give you all this stuff that you want. It's a sick, sick cycle.
Well, it's fucking capitalism and cruelty, and it's like that's what's rewarded.
Yep.
Period. Your friends could grow weed and they get arrested, right? Because they sell you fucking weed that they grew in their fucking basement because they bought a black light or whatever the fuck it is. And they get in fucking jail. Well, this is before weed was legal in Ireland. We can say that. So you grow weed, but like, like these fucking people can, I don't know, do shit. Like that's worse than like the fucking organized fucking bullshit. Is shitty. And like, I mean, like when people say like you need to move on from it, I think it needs to like we need to understand like cruelty is like rewarded. Like that's how capitalism works. It rewards cruelty. Like so like is it worse to buy fucking weed or fucking mushrooms from your buddy that is legal, but he's just selling it to you, or is it worse to buy like fucking underpants in a fucking store? Like, like what's more fucked up? Like, what, who died for those fucking underpants? But like, who died for that fucking, I don't know, some weed or some fucking shit. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's really sad. I'm probably not getting to the point of what I'm probably hitting on a lot of things, but like,
We are, but
uh,
let's talk about
yeah, circle.
Frail in 2026 and forward in the last few moments we have here.
Oh, well, I know we've talked about writing and like I haven't stopped writing. Like I was into it, and that's why you get to be a front person because you kind of have a vague idea that you like writing, and everyone was pretty supportive of that growing up, and like I've continued writing to varying degrees, and like it's really fun to come back and think about writing songs and stuff like that. So I don't know. I hope we maybe do new music, but we might not. I don't know. It's all kind of up in the air, but like it's just really nice to, like I said before, like it's just really nice to be reconnected with everyone I really enjoy playing shows, 110%. I think I'm probably like, there's some regression in me in the sense that like I could play a show every fucking night. Now I don't know if my fucking throat can keep up with it, but I really love a show and playing live, and I think it's really fun. And I think being with those guys and being in the settings that we've been fortunate enough to be in the last year and a quarter, is really great. And so I'd like to play more shows, but we kind of have to wait and see. It's difficult. We all, like, Don's in LA, I'm in Ireland, and the other guys are in Philly, and it's kind of challenging to like get it together. So
It's challenging even if everyone's in the same city.
yeah, I mean, part of me is like, well, all I know is that if we do decide to do something, I know everybody's into it because it's not easy. Like, so it's not like, oh, like, like when I was a kid, I could just always walk up to mics through the woods or some shit. But like now it's just like, if we're going to do something, whether it's play a show or even think about writing music or anything like that, if you're going to do it, everyone's putting real effort into it. And like, so you should match that effort. And it means a lot to me. Like if Don or Mike or Brian or Derek like write music and they're like, I want you to put words to it, like that's fucking nice. Like that's a really nice thing someone can ask me. And I'm like fucking thankful and like happy. Like just happy. Like it makes me beyond happy. Like it's, even if we ended up doing it for ourselves, just to have someone say like, oh, I want you to write a fucking part for this, or I want you to do something with me because like you mean that much to me. And it's just rad. It's super rad. So I'm completely open to whatever any of these guys want to do. I like the idea of like trying to write new music. I don't know if it'd be good or bad or indifferent, you know. I know I have loads of ideas, you know, will they work? Who knows? I know we'd like to play more shows and stuff, you know, but like logistics and making it work, and people have families and everything and responsibilities and stuff. So it's a mixed bag. But anyway, yeah, no, I can definitely say 100% I'd like to play shows. And I do hope we write new music. I actually think it could be pretty interesting just because I know the guys are way like, they're just way more proficient at playing music and writing than we were as kids. Like I think when we were kids, particularly with like our first 7-inch, like we were definitely like, all right, this is our fucking Native Nod song, this is our Rorschach song, this is our fucking Lifetime song, and this is, I don't even know what the other one was, I don't know, whoever was playing at the time. Like we were just trying to mimic bands that we liked. I don't think we really like, I think what's interesting about my experience with Frail, I didn't really think we like solidified our sound until towards the end, and then we broke up. Like we did a lot of like, I definitely think, I mean, we sounded like ourselves, I'm not going to deny that, but we were trying to mimic what we were enjoying. And I think that's the beautiful, like, I think it's fun. Like, it's a good conversation with what was happening at the time. Like, particularly for a 7-inch, I'm like, that is definitely us trying to figure out the fuck we were, you know, as a band. I think, like, our thoughts and ideas are all there. And just, like, who we were as a sound. And then as we move through the 7-inches and towards the split, I definitely think we found our sound and our voice, and I feel like our strongest material obviously is probably for most bands, it's like towards the end of it is like our strongest material, and then we break up because that's what you do. As soon as you figure it out, you realize I can't stand anybody. No, but like
a tale as old as time.
yeah, no, I know. But like for Frail, like I think we can say we have a future because we don't really give a fuck about nostalgia. Like we think about today and being part of the world that we live in. And I think that's, and I think some of the things that we would talk about as kids, like, I don't know, I think it's probably as important as ever to share, and we're happy to do it. And if we can continue to do it, that'd be great. But I don't know, like, it's always hard to get like specifics because like a lot of our specifics, like, I think when we thought about doing the LA shows, I think we decided around Thanksgiving of last year. And I was like, I guess that's like, maybe it's like 90 days. Like, we're going to play some shows. And we're like, fuck, yeah, let's do it. And that's kind of how we probably do a lot of shit like we used to do as kids. Like, but I mean, there is more of a delay, but like, it's kind of like, hey, let's do this. And like, we still don't plan. We're not strategic planners. We're like just happy to be invited. We're happy to do it if we can. And it's a bit, and time permits and so forth. Cause that's the biggest fucking challenge is time. To be honest.
Yeah. Especially these days. But, Eric, I love I think I've seen Frail 3 times. No, wait, 4 times. It doesn't matter how many times. But I really like what I've seen. I'm happy that I got to see you in modern times. I'm happy that I now have gotten to meet you and the rest of the band and spend some time with you. And I'm definitely looking forward to more. So I hope it happens. So I just wanted to say I appreciate you and thanks so much for coming on the show.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
And there you have it, Eric Hammar. Amazing conversation. Very glad that Eric came on the show. I think this conversation was just a perfect snapshot of who Eric is and who Frail is. It was really interesting hearing about their whole history from Eric's perspective. I'm also really happy that he and the band reunited, because based on this conversation and others I've had with Eric, everyone went their separate ways. And that's sad because they were all such good friends. But I'm happy that everyone is back together and Frail is playing shows again. So if you have the opportunity to go see them, I highly recommend that you do so. And if you want to hear more from Eric and Frail, check out the new episode of The New Scene on location. It goes live this Friday at 9 a.m. on our YouTube channel. We spent time in LA out with Frail. We spoke to the band, we hung out, we went panning for gold. We covered one of the shows. There's some surprise guest appearances too. It's a fantastic episode, so make sure you check it out. And thank you so much, Eric, for coming on the show. Great conversation. So let's check in. How are we doing? I'm doing okay. I'm still dealing with not having a job. Still going back and forth between, oh my God, what am I going to do? And hey, now I can get everything done that I've always wanted to do. I guess I'll start applying for new jobs at some point, maybe after the Memory Entry LP is recorded, so I can focus solely on that for the month of March. I don't know. We'll see. I'm figuring it out day by day, minute by minute, but I'm doing okay. I hope everybody out there is doing well. Just a reminder, the New Scene Patreon has just launched. Thank you so much to everybody who has signed up so far. It's out there. There's 4 tiers of support, so sign up. You'll get unique benefits, and you get access to our new podcast called That's Fair. It features me and Nathaniel Shannon, and we get the opportunity to dig into the more personal aspects of life, do more commentary on music culture, and just talk about whatever. It's more of an open space to really dig into things, which I don't always get the opportunity to do here, and it's a good show. So sign up. Thank you everybody so much for your support. We are also on the push to 400 Apple Podcast reviews. It's going to take a while to get there, but I know we can do it. So any iPhone that you see has the podcast app. Open up that app, search The New Scene, scroll down a bit, and hit the 5-star button. We've got 73 to go. And we can get there. I know we can do it. Speaking of, we have a new Apple Podcast review, which I'll read right now. This review is from Lake Effect 1983. 5 stars. Keith, amazing stuff. Really appreciate you and the podcast. Been listening for a long time. One of the few pods I listen to regularly. Great conversation with Jake from Converge. My all-time favorite episode was with Quinn from Love Letter. So incredibly emotional and heartfelt. I am sorry to hear that you lost your job. I recently lost mine as well, 20 years with the same company. Also, thank you for talking about your sobriety. I know it can be difficult, but always helps more than you will ever know. Looking forward to more memory entry material. Thank you. Thank you, Lake Effect. That was a great review. I'm sorry that you lost your job. Yeah, a lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people I know, a lot of people I have spoken to. There's a lot of layoffs across the country. So if you're experiencing that too, I'm sorry, and hopefully we find something else soon. Thank you again, Lake Effect, and that is it for this week. Thank you everyone who has signed up for the Patreon. Thank you everybody who has sent an Apple Podcast review. Thank you everyone who supports the show in any way possible. I'm back next week with a brand new episode and a brand new guest. So I'll see you then.